All right. Welcome to a little late night stream action. Talking a little bit about the Jets OTAs, some rumors, news, just a general chat to catch up on things revolving around the New York Jets. It's been a little bit. Haven't really been doing the standard weekly shows since we were in the off-season side of the NFL. So as you pop in here, please hit that like button. It goes a long way for anyone that decides to watch the stream. Maybe they'll tune into something else in the future. It's always greatly appreciated. Before we do, I want to thank the sponsor of this late night stream. That would be Atlas. Our sponsor today, brand new razor company that just hit the market. They actually gave me one of their razors, slick green 5-blade razor. Very happy with it so far. High performance serum strips. Gave me the shaving cream, the aftershave just to try it out. Used them the other day. Wife said she liked it. I gotta go back in there, use it again. But I've liked it so far. First of all, looks sleek. Sharp, if you will. Blade has 5 US-made stainless steel blades that glide right through the facial hair and has a high-performance serum strip. You can see it right there. Bam. That's infused with ingredients like aloe, vitamin E, and shea butter, which reduces irritation and helps prevent ingrowns. I've also been liking the shaving cream. Thick formula shows me where I'm shaving and leaves my skin soft as a baby's bottom. I know. I have 2 little kids. Just as soft as their bottoms. Their aftershave, awesome. Doesn't burn like the old school aftershave used to, but it does have a nice cooling sensation and a nice smell. And the premium razor kits come with a magnetic storage hook that can attach to your bathroom mirror or medicine cabinet for easy storage. And now for a limited time, they're offering 30% off your first House of Atlas razor kit with code JetsTalk at houseofatlas.com. That's HOUSEOFATLAS.com with promo code JetsTalk for 30% off your first House of Atlas razor kit. Stop wasting money and time on shaving products that don't look good, aren't effective, and cost way too much. Visit houseofatlas.com. Trust me, you'll love it as much as I do. Boys and girls, going to get into it a little bit. Talk a little bit about our New York Jets. How you guys feeling? We're seeing a little bit of the OTAs, some of the highlights of the Jets post and video clips. They don't hit quite the same way as the Aaron Rodgers stuff did, I find. Maybe that's just me. Maybe everyone else is super hyped up on it. But I'm sitting in this stage of like, all right, prove it to me. As opposed to getting hyped up on absolutely everything. I was talking to my ticket rep today. We were doing the getting ready for the group buy. And she's like, hey, so like, how many tickets you want to do this year? I'm like, I think we're going to dial it back compared to last year. We sold out last year. I was like, we could always get more. She said, oh, why'd you do that? Why would you do that? I was like, our expectations are slightly different. We're not thinking Super Bowl this year. That's all right. It's all good. What's up, Noah? Good to have you in here. Let me stretch out my comments here. Curly, what's good? Kashmir, miss the in-season shows, even if they followed losses, but still cool to see those live notifications. Keep it up, JETS, Jets. Kashmir, thank you so much. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Yeah, you know, it's sometimes you need a little bit of a off period. Basically, from just after the draft through the probably through July is where I kind of take a little bit more of a reset, focus a little bit more on the family. Edward, howdy, Ryan. Good to see you. What's up, Mario? I think it's Mario or Paul, whoever's over on the other hashtag side of things. Advises, advertises a razor, has a full beard. What's good, brother? Yeah, you know what? I have to shave. I don't shave the full beard. I usually go from here down. Here down. I did not do that. Did not do that today. It's all right. What's up? Hey, it's Mr. J. Zachary. Let's go late night Jets talk. Hopefully we get some stuff in here. Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis are going to be fun with Brees. Yeah, look, I really hope we don't trade Brees. I'm going to be pretty irritated if that's how it all winds up shaking out. I heard rumors that, like, Dallas might be interested in him. I don't want to see us move him. Hope not. Edward, I'm a razor man myself. I like razors more than like I've had the like beard trimmers and stuff like that, like regular like the Manscaped stuff is fine, but I very much like a blade first and foremost. Who gets more playing time, Curley or Gibson? I hope Gibson's not on the team this year. That's sort of where my mindset is on him. Great story 2 years ago. Not interested in seeing more of it. Jack talks Jets. This season is a relaxing experiment season, which is nice. No pressure, just an experiment, at least for now. I'm totally in agreement with this. This feels like sort of similar to year 2 of Zach, where we unexpectedly like found ourselves kind of in the playoff hunt, and we had Mike White like playing well. That's sort of the vibe I have for this season, where like I'm going into it. There's the excitement of, you know, a young quarterback, young playmakers, optimism with a new staff. Granted, it wasn't a new staff that year, but you know what I'm trying to say. I think the low expectations, or maybe no expectations, or tampered expectations comparatively to where we were the last 2 years, is definitely really nice. I don't want to have to, I'd rather under-expect and over-deliver than over-expect and under-deliver. I feel like we tend to do that a lot as Jet fans. So I'm just gonna be boring. And, you know, just take it as it comes. Try to hash out the positives. Look, I hope Fields is the guy long term. I think that'd be really, really cool to see a rebound, but I don't think, I don't know. I have a hunch we might be drafting a quarterback either way. Brees Prods, the Jets are my favorite team. Everyone, take knots. Take a bunch of knots. The 𝐂𝐬𝐿 show with the Pats loser. No. I don't know who's the Pats loser. Hashtag, yeah, we had a reset too. You got to do it sometimes, I feel you, bro. Yeah, dude, off season. There's nothing going on. I've had nights where I'm like, I feel like doing a stream. And it's like, there's literally no news going on. We could talk a little bit about some of the, rumors and speculation and whatnot. There's the Tippmann versus Myers conversation. But I feel like you're just trying to like stir the pot on stuff that isn't actually like wildly critical. So I put a little bit more emphasis on the family stuff right now. I got to get up to Buffalo and have a beer with you guys. Or you guys got to come down here. Harlan, what's up, dude? Backfield should be strong. Yeah, I think that's my favorite part of this team right now. Especially, I'm including Fields in that too. Just a really violent running game. Zachary, I don't trust myself with a blade next to my neck. I guess I've thought of that. My last haircut, I did like the beard trim too. And my barber, good dude, Jet fan, watches the channel. John, if you're watching this, you kind of jacked me up a little bit. I don't know if I should have buzzed my beard a little bit before you went at me, but I like the razor. It's nice and clean, smooth. Edward does want to see Gibson again. He had his chances. I agree. Zachary, Dark Horse's Arian Smith, has the third most yards. Dark Horse is Arian Smith. Has third most yards of our wide receiver group at 667. I think Arian Smith is going to play a very specific role. I don't think he's going to be fed the ball a lot, but I think he's going to be on the field a decent amount, particularly anytime we want to clear the middle of the field for the tight ends and Garrett. I think they'll just use him to send a safety deep, clear it out. They'll take their shots occasionally if they get a one-on-one and think they can beat him, but I'm not expecting a crazy ton. There's a lot of people that are like super sour on that pick because it was definitely a reach, but they were clearly targeting a trait, and that trait was that wild speed he has. Hey, it's Mr. J. Jets are a poor man's Eagles. I'm optimistic if someone can step up at D tackle and wide receiver too. Yeah, I think a poor man's Eagles is probably a good way to look at this team right now. We're trying to focus more on the, efficiency at the quarterback position and not necessarily the prolific passing attack. Like, to me, a great season from Fields would be 3,000 passing yards, 800 yards rushing. If the Jets wind up with that stat line from Fields, they're going to be a pretty solid team. Now, if they can't, score touchdowns and stuff, like, I don't know what touchdown numbers you'd be needing to look at, but I'll take it. And as far as like poor man's Eagles as well, like not just like the offensive play style that I think is going to be eerily similar, but I think it's kind of funny. They took every player from Georgia and just encapsulated them on their defense, and we're doing basically the same thing with the Ohio State side of things. Will it have any return on investment? Who knows? But I'm willing to watch it. Jack, do you think we trade any of our star players for future picks that could be used to help us get a quarterback next year? I would hate to win 6 or 7 games and be out of range for a top 2 or 3 quarterback. I do think Breece gets traded. I think it's going to be towards the trade deadline. We're going to showcase him early on in the season. If we're having success and we're winning games, then maybe they hold off on the trade. But I think if we got a tough beginning part of the schedule. If we are sitting at, is it 8 weeks into the season or 7 weeks into the season is the trade deadline? If we're sitting at like 2-6 or like 2-5, whatever the week is just before the trade deadline, I think Breece gets moved for like a second round pick. If you can get a second for Breece, especially if you don't think you're going to want to retain him, I could see them totally moving off of him. I'm in the camp of wanting to franchise tag Breece, honestly, but I could understand doing it to get the quarterback. Brian, with the remaining cap space, what do you think? What would you like the Jets to invest in most? Wide receiver, D tackle, etc., and who? Honestly, I want our Jets to invest their money into our own players. There's no player currently out there that I'm like fawning over. Like, there's a few. Is Clowney still out there? Is Zadarius Smith still out there? Like, those are 2 names that sort of like would help and maybe push Clemens off the roster a bit. But I'd rather retain the dollars we have in a season that I don't think is going to be a needle mover. And I don't think the players are necessarily needle movers. Like, if these guys aren't going to be here beyond 2025, I'd rather that money go into Garrett, go into Breece or Sauce. JJ you're not going to do this year. AVT, Stimson. Like, there's a lot of other guys. I would much rather our money go to our own players to retain them than to bring in outside mercenaries. So I don't know if that's cop out, Brian, for what you're looking for, but it's my honest feelings. Breece, my brother was roommates with Olave in college, and Olave said he wants to come to New York and reunite. Oh, that's pretty cool. That would be really neat. I don't want to give up even like a 3rd round pick for Olave, unfortunately. I think the concussions are a little scary. But if you can get him relatively cheap, if that's something that could be facilitated, yeah, I'm on board. I just don't want to give up a premium pick. Zachary, Miami is screwed until they do what we just did with a clean house. I think they're going to have to get rid of Tyreek at some point. I mean, I think they still have enough young pieces there to be fine. I like their head coach a lot too. As much as they haven't really won like anything, they haven't won a playoff game. They've made it to the playoffs, since he's been there. But I don't know. Miami should be better than they actually are. Offensive line should be much improved. I hope so. We heard 5 or 6 sacks last week in the 10 dropbacks Fields had. That didn't come off good. That sounded terrible. Like, to me, I don't view that and say, wow, defense is doing great. No, I view that as, oh no, offense is doing something wrong. So something is very, very wrong here. Daniel, happy Wednesday. Hump day. Jimmy, Hassan Reddick holding out from OTAs in Tampa too. Is he really? I guess it's voluntary. I don't know. If you haven't watched the Eagles and the Jets the last 2 years, Tampa, that's a shame on you situation. Milk those thumbs, boys and girls. David Hall, the legend, returns. Let's go. Oh, shucks. Jacob, any expectations for our 3 running backs? What does the split look like? 70 Brees, 20 Allen, 10 Davis. I kind of hope that's what it is, but in terms of touches, sure. I would say on the field, I would like to see Brees and Allen on like consistently, and then when Brees needs a break, you throw Davis in there. But I would like to punish teams a lot. So if that means running Fields, if that means running, like percentage-wise, I would say touches, I want Brees to have 70. But I'm okay if a lot of his are like receiving. In my mind, he sort of plays like a wide receiver 2 in my mind. Zachary, I think Mason Taylor and Stone Smart will have a great year and get 1,100 yards together. That would be solid production from the tight end spot, I think. I don't know what we've had the last few years, but couldn't have been very good. Anything we got from Rodgers last year, like, what do you have? Just under 3,200 yards, 3,400 yards? I think is what he finished with. We're not getting that much from Fields, so I'll say that much. Harlan, the last 3 quarterbacks the Jets had all failed and didn't make it to a second contract. They were all first-round picks. Jets should take a quarterback in another round. Jets should probably take a D-tackle in the first. I would be mad. I would be very mad. If we took a D-tackle instead of a quarterback in next year's class, that would be a very dumb move. I would rather take the swing on a quarterback than take a defensive tackle. Now, that being said, I don't want to force this quarterback into the starting lineup. Make sure we have Fields coming back next year. Don't move off of him. Bring in another quarterback if you want. Like, I like what the Giants did where they basically put Dart behind Russ and Winston. I thought it was kind of a waste of assets because I think you could have just rolled with Winston as opposed to bringing in Russ also. But I like that they're not going to have to force Dart in there. I think part of the issues the Jets have had the last few times we've done this is we just haven't had a veteran in place that could hold down the fort. And we've just expected the rookie to take the reins of this broken franchise and put all the weight and pressure of being a first-round pick in New York City to be the savior. And it just crushes guys. And I think I want someone to be not a project, but a long-term solution, not a fast patch. Which is what it sort of feels like we have done the last few times. Now, hopefully Fields does well, and we're happy. Like, in my best case scenario, Fields plays well. We draft a quarterback. Fields continues to play well because he's pissed off that we drafted a quarterback. And worst case scenario, we have maybe 2 sitting back there. Ed says he's looking forward to seeing how Fields performs during game day. Just stay healthy. Yeah, we got to remember we haven't seen a full season healthy from Fields before. So that could certainly be a problem. We are not going to pick top 8. That's my prediction. I'm not with you, Zachary. I do think we are I do think we are headed towards a rough season. I would say 6 wins, although 6 wins probably gets us right near that top 10, depending on how other teams are doing. But I think we're picking top 10 for sure. Top 8, likely. We got rich on June 1st. We'll have $45 million on June 1st. That's kind of cool. Again, I would rather that be spent on our own guys than anyone else. Wimmy, what's up? I don't think we waste franchise on Brees. He's not elite now. Prove me wrong, Brees. Uncle Larry, I agree that he hasn't earned the franchise tag yet. I don't know if that's so much a product of him as much as it is like kind of the quarterback situation that we've had going on the last little bit, mixed with his own injuries, mixed with some pretty incompetent offensive play calling. So I hope the Jets highlight Brees these first like 6 or 7 games before the trade deadline. And then I would expect, I think it's more likely he gets traded at the deadline or after the season or after signing a franchise tag than he is actually playing on a franchise tag next year for the Jets. I think that's a good assessment. Hey, my brother was roommates with Olave too. He wants Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. Everyone could be roommates with Olave. Who knows? You guys are all just random names on the internet for the most part. I don't know. Maybe you were roommates. Sent him a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. Worked with Mike Williams to get him here. Didn't work after he got here. Ed says AVT is his only concern. Talking about offensive line? Is that what we're talking about? Or just like guys being healthy? Yeah, I want AVT to not get hurt. Mike McDaniel's a great OC, but an okay head coach. I mean, I would take what he's done at head coaching. I don't know if it's necessarily all on him. But we got AG now. AG's going to take this guy's lunch money. That's what I want. Brees says, Hassan Reddick in the NFL is like me in middle school days. If practice is optional, I ain't going. Yeah, there's not a lot of... I don't know how you could look at Hassan the last year and a half. Really like the back half of his Eagles career, like last 4 or 5 games when he didn't have any... I think it was no sacks, if memory serves correct. And then last year and be like, that's the guy I want. No. No. Bad move. When we get to the red zone, that is Braylon Allen's job. I just want to punish people. I want Fields. Like, if Fields has like a bunch of rushing touchdowns, I'm cool with that. Just like hurt the other team. I want to be entertained. I'm team entertainment for next year. Wins, losses, they are what they are. I don't really care. I mean, I care. I want to see them win, but I just want to be entertained more than anything. Uncle Larry saying, by the way, on Fields, kid has talent. Aaron Glenn, as a Parcells alum, will get the most out of him. That's my hope. Need a Super Bowl soon. Yeah, I'm not going to be predicting any kind of Super Bowl Fields, but I think it's about damn time that's the Jets' opportunity to reclaim someone who was a high draft pick. Seattle got their Geno. Minnesota got their Sam. And then Seattle got their Sam. And then the Raiders got their Geno. But hopefully we can be the reclamation project over here. I saw a little article on Fields and like Lamar Jackson and how Lamar was not the prospect that Fields was coming out. Lamar went 32 and Fields went 11. And I really liked Fields coming out of that class. I would not have put him above Lamar Jackson. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with the full take of what this article's saying, but the gist of it is you go to Chicago, they don't have an offensive line, they don't have a number 1 wide receiver, they got a defensive-minded head coach that is not building an offense around you, where Lamar goes to Baltimore, has a really stable head coaching situation, and completely throws out their playbook. They have Greg Roman, they build an offense entirely around Lamar, and then he starts to flourish. So if you're going to roll the Fields this year, which we are, put everything we have behind him. Go all in. That's what I want to see. What's up, multivitamins? Says Ryan. I hope we retain AVT and John Simpson. I know it's OTAs, but the more I hear about the team building AG and the culture is truly changing, it gets me going, makes me think Fields can get to 10-7, go Jets. Mutt Files is the eternal optimist in this chat. I want to buy the positive vibes. Everything I see from OTAs that is cast in a positive light from either the Jets or the media, taken with a grain of salt. I'm just going to say, cool. That's neat. That's checking a box. Like, obviously, I wouldn't want to see, like, there's controversy at Jets camp, or there's this, or there's that, or this person looks god-awful all the time. No, I don't want to see that. But I am not buying the hype. I'm not buying the hype. I want to see some friggin' wins. If somehow we make the playoffs, I'll hook up Green Bean with the multivitamins I use every offseason to have the optimism. Oh, man. I don't know if he's allowed to take those. Billy. Jets fans were overly optimistic last season, overly pessimistic this season. The coaching staff is better than it was. Could it be worse? O-line on paper is great. Jets will win more than most think. Well, the Vegas over-under is 5.5 wins. I think it's pretty close to spot on. I had us at 6 wins, like in my gut, and then during the Talkin' Jets schedule release videos, I had the Bills resting starters the final week of the season for the Jets to get to 7 wins. So I don't want to say I'm pessimistic. I think I'm feeling realistic, and I'd rather be wrong and be happy than be like pounding my chest and blowing smoke up your ass the entire time. Alan in the red zone, says Edward. You see any players that were good okay last year that might regress? Guys that might regress. I mean, Simpson, like you look at the guys in year, like the first year over here. So like Simpson played really well last year. Is he going to continue to play well? Olu looked really good. Could he possibly regress? Those are probably the two that stand out the most to me. I don't think is there anyone on defense? Sherwood, I guess. We just paid him. So, like, can he continue to play well? It's hard to say, could anyone who played well regress, when last year I feel like the entire team regressed. Although I guess you say good or okay last year, that might regress. So, I think most guys were looking to rebound from last year, but I'll say Simpson and Olu are the two I'm keeping my eye on the most and hoping they continue to play well. Sam could have been our guy, and we ruined him for years. I loved Sam. I still got a soft spot for Sam. I will be rooting for him in a Seahawks uniform. But man, I thought we had our quarterback when we got him. I really did. Olu and Membu should hold down tackles. I hope so. Ooh, this is a good one. Thoughts on Will McDonald gaining 15 pounds of muscle? So, Zachary, who was it? Jacob said it before. Who did good or okay last year that I think could regress? Will McDonald is a really good answer to this question. And I don't want me to think that way. Like, for me, Will McDonald, I think some of his sacks last year were a little bit of smoke and mirrors. If you go back to the Titans game, he had 1 or 2 sacks. I think he had 3 sacks total in the game. But I think 1 or 2 of them were, like, super goofy. Like, one, I think the quarterback just kind of, like, tripped over him while he was laying on the ground. Levis, that was. So I'm optimistic for Will McDonald and gaining 15 pounds, and hopefully he can be a little bit more of a force on non-passing situations. But I think he's a good one to potentially regress this year, along with Olu and Simpson, just because of like the pop we saw. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully that's not where things go. Harlan, what about a veteran quarterback what about that veteran quarterback, the Vikings quarterback coach? That was the Vikings quarterback coach last season. You talking about Josh McCown? I like Josh McCown. I think he's still in Minnesota. Is that the one you're talking about? Late nights with Ryan. What's up, my Viles? I wasn't lying about him being my brother's roommate. Shut up, Mr. J. Ooh, I want proof, Brees. I want proof. AVT needs to stay healthy as well. Most everyone has their franchise quarterback. I mean, there's going to be 4 or 5 guys that come out next year. Sellers could come out. Klubnik, Manning, Allar, Nussmeier. I'd really be good with like any of them. Hopefully they all play well this year and the Jets are picking high. Or we feel confident enough to trade up, which I would hope. Us having 100% attendance at OTAs is great, and us having refs at practice is also great. I'll be honest, did we not have refs prior to now? I thought we always did. I thought there was always refs. Am I totally wrong on this? I thought they'd call penalties. Maybe I'm thinking a training camp, and OTAs doesn't normally have it. We got to work on our... penalties, first and foremost. Simpson definitely held his own last season. I like Simpson. I'm just hoping he doesn't regress. Levi, not even a Jets fan. I want to see them make the playoffs just for you, Matt and Green Bean. Levi, you're a good guy. I like you. You can hang around a little bit. We've got some fun stuff planned, myself, Matt, and Green Bean. We should find out probably next week. We're talking through it right now, but we're finalizing everything for our group buy. We're going to be doing Jets Steelers next year. Not next year, this year. Jets Steelers will be the group buy. We don't officially know our section, but I think we're making our group buy selection on the first day of selections. So we should get our selection spot. My files, the roster's the same, just a few tweaks, better coaching, and the schedule's easier, especially after Thanksgiving when wins really matter. Yeah, but you just don't want to be in like a shitty beginning part of the season and then people start like giving up. Just a healthy McDonald. Yeah, I don't want to see anyone get hurt. I'd like to see a true evaluation year for the Jets. It would be a Jets thing. We think we suck and then make the playoffs at the 7th seed. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm cool with like the surprise factor. I'm just not gonna predict it. I've been wrong way too many times. It's like, oh, this is the year. We're gonna get to 9 wins. We're gonna get to 10 wins. I don't feel that this year. It's probably because I've been so beaten down the last 2. You guys are probably in there with me. M. Darrett. McDonald got to 10 sacks fast and then got stuck there. I don't know when he got to the... let me look up now. Will McDonald. So when did he get to that stat line? So he got... Totally missing sacks. So yeah, he got 3 versus the Titans. He hit 2 sacks in week 12 to get him to that 10 sack number, and then did diddly the next 5 weeks. 4 weeks, and then got half a sack the final week of the season versus Miami. Yeah. He had some wow plays for sure. But that 3 sack performance versus the Titans, I remember sitting and watching and being like, it's a little not what the stats line up to be, or at least doesn't seem as impressive. Like I feel like he had other games where he applied pressure that looked better than some of his sack games. Still waiting on my Will McDonald greater than Huff take. Apology. Hey, you know what? He's better. Huff has stunk. In my eyes, if the O-line holds up, the running game takes off. I hope so. It probably helps if the quarterback's not checking out of all our runs, too. Really dodging the Diggs stuff, huh? Did you post something about Diggs? I think I've gone through every comment so far. The Diggs stuff, was it some sort of... I heard it was like a pink powder... and he's hanging out. He's missing training camp or missing OTAs because he's with a bunch of chicks on a boat. I think that's where I heard the story was. I love Sam too. I still think they should have traded that 2 for a ton of picks and built around him. Yeah, look, that's probably what the right move was. At the time, I was in favor of trading Sam for the 2nd round pick and whatever other picks we got. Not because I didn't like Sam, but because I thought it was rare to be as high as we were in a class that was perceived to be a good quarterback class. So I don't know. It sucks. But yeah, that was the right move. Actually, the right move would have been trading Sam, trading the picks, and then going after, although I guess you could have kept Sam, but the right move instead of going after Rodgers would have been to go after Baker Mayfield, which I don't think anyone was really signing up for at that point. I think it was definitely the right move to go for Rodgers and swing for the fences. Just didn't work out. I wrote it twice and you skipped it twice. It definitely did not come through on my side. I don't know why. Never had OTAs. Nope. Never was. Andrew, what's good, dude? Whoa, you're live right now. Wait, why am I awake right now? Go Jets. What's up, Andrew? Good to have you in here. Dang penalties. Jets have to commit fewer penalties this next season. They have to. They've led the league in like 2 of the last 3 years, I think. They were top 5 or top 10 in penalties 3 of the 4 years Sal was here. Really not good. My breakout guy is LT3. I hope so. Eli says, no, we def suck. Yeah, that sounds right. I definitely feel that way. AZ Thomas is going to be special, and media will be there tomorrow, and our DC and OC are talking tomorrow. Cool. I like AZ Thomas. I think of, now I haven't watched every content creator's reaction to the draft stream, but like I was pretty pumped. I knew this as Dom C's guy, and I think it gives you a little bit more flexibility with Sauce. I'm going to continue to say this. I think there's a real shot Sauce isn't here long term. I hope that's not the case, and I hope he turns it around. But man, AZ Thomas at least gives you a little bit of flexibility if things do go south at some point. Look how 2002 started and how they finished. That was a great end of that year. Diggs hearts that pink booger sugar. Yeah, I'd never heard of it until this story. The name threw me off too. I don't even know what it is offhand, but it wasn't a name that I knew. Can't wait for the group buy. Also, reach out to me when the Jets play in Baltimore. You, Green Bean, and Matt are welcome to stay at my house for the weekend. Well, thank you, Andrew. That's not going to happen because myself, Matt, and Green Bean are going to be at Matt's wedding. Matt's wedding is the day before. So, like, my ass is not traveling to Baltimore. I'm just trying to get home for the game at that point. But yeah, Matt gets married the day before the ball. I'm pretty sure it's the day before the Baltimore game. Joshua, I love how the media has subtly given credit to the Pats when they haven't proven anything yet. Gotta love double standards. I really like the coaching decisions they made. I like their draft and I like their free agency. So I am also leaning into the belief that the Pats will be trending up. Even if Diggs in that situation is like a little sideways, I do think that I think the Jets are probably the favorite to be last place in our division. And probably rightfully so until Glenn proves he can be a head coach and Fields proves he can be a quarterback and, you know, we start winning some games. We haven't earned the benefit of the doubt. If they signed Baker, I wonder where Rodgers would have gone. He might have retired, possibly. Although I wonder if could the Giants have brought him in? They're still paying Jones. I thought they tried to make a play. Was it the Patriots that tried to make a play for him? I think the Patriots tried to make a play for him at one point. He could have gone to the Raiders, right? That could have been an option because they were moving on from Carr. They had Devontae already. I'm trying to think where else could have been an option. Maybe like long shot San Francisco. Penalties have always been a problem for the Jets. Yeah, we just can't seem to shake it. Eli's excited for AZ. Love it. Not excited about possibly losing Sauce, though. Look, I'm just reading the tea leaves on like my gut feeling. And this is someone that really wanted Sauce. Like I wanted Sauce at number 4. I think when you look at him and Garrett, both guys should get paid and be here long term. Garrett is the one that'll convert his touches and opportunities into wins. I don't know if that's the same for Sauce. We saw Sauce and Reed sit out the Eagles game 2 years ago when we had a good defensive line and the backups played well and we beat the Eagles. Respectively, or looking at last year's season, we did not have the defensive line. And we did have the corners in Reed and Sauce. And we did get cooked consistently. So I think there's something to be said for the pass rush being far more valuable and worth the $30 million as opposed to maybe Sauce being worth the $30 million. And if I'm Glenn and Muji and someone comes to the Jets and say, hey, we've got 2 first-round picks. We want Sauce Gardner. I think I'd have to strongly consider moving him. He's the perfect personality. He's the perfect mindset. Like he's everything I want in a Jets player, which is why I hope he doesn't go anywhere. But I think I think those conversations will happen at some point, as much as fans don't want to admit that. Congratulations to Matt. Yep. Matt's getting married. We're excited. Have you ever been to a Jets road game? I have. I went to Jets Dolphins a bunch of years ago. I actually like that stadium a pretty good amount. It gives me like Giant Stadium vibes, where you could like actually walk around the entirety of each row or each level. And then I also went to, actually, I didn't go. I've been in the Tampa Bay Stadium. I've never been there for a game. I was there for a concert. And then I've been to like, sounds stupid, but I've been to a Giant home game. So I guess that's technically a road game. I think that's it. I don't think I've ever been to any of the other stadiums. I'm kicking around the idea of going to Cincinnati this year because my brother-in-law lives there. He's close to the stadium. I haven't been out to see his house with his girlfriend. So maybe I go there. We are going to Tampa this year, and we are going to Jacksonville. Right? That sounds right. And I have family that lives like an hour south of Tampa, so maybe I'll go down that way. Bledsoe's internal bleeding. Yeah, you do it in a second for the 2 firsts. Congrats to Matt, but anyway, I'm actually happy. Sorry about that. Congrats to Matt, but I'm actually happy that the Rodgers hype has passed. Could have been great. Didn't pan out. Better to build in the shadows. I really like where the Jets are headed. Yeah, we need a down, quiet year. Keep us on the 1 o'clock slot. Just hide us away. I think Sauce's impact will be felt more when he's allowed to travel with team's best wide receiver, which I expect AG will do. Yeah, I think having a former defensive back in AG is going to help Sauce as well. I'd love to see him travel with the best player on the other team. My issue with this is something that has shifted since Revis's time in the league, and you started to see it a little bit with Revis. To eliminate Revis's dominating performances against number 1 wide receivers, you just target wide receiver 2. Now, hopefully, Sauce is so locked down wide receiver 1, you can shade the coverage more against the other guys, and you're not just putting cornerback 2 on wide receiver 2, and they're just feeding wide receiver 2 constantly. But yeah, I hope he has a bounce back year. The longer we wait to extend Sauce, the worse it's going to be for us. If he doesn't get a new deal soon, I'll be worried. I am hoping with that $45 million that we get total in salary cap post June 1st, we decide to, ink some guys. Good teams don't lose their good players. So I'm hoping we hold on to both those guys. I went to Denver versus Jets a couple times. That's pretty cool. I really like, I've been next to the Denver stadium. I've flown into Denver a few times. I've stayed in Denver. I really like Colorado, snowboarding, skiing, and Denver in general is one of my more favorite cities. I haven't been there in a few years, but blew my mind that the Mile High city was not in the mountains. It's flat. It's just a mile above sea level. Blew my mind. Maybe that's a child's like take on geography, but it is what it is. Edward, about 45 minutes away from Tampa Stadium, about 5 hours from Miami. Jacksonville is about 6 hours. Yeah, Miami, so you're probably north or east of Tampa, if I had to guess. Is that right? Miami, I think, is 3 hours from my parents' place. They're on the West Coast. Miami's on the East Coast. Tampa's an hour north. Never been to Jacksonville. Hope Gardner could get some interceptions this season. Yeah, I'd like to get that monkey off our back. Back in the 80s, a bunch of us traveled. Didn't back in the 80s, a bunch of us traveled. Didn't back then people were cool. I don't know what that emoji is. Stadium didn't matter. Back then people were cool. Yeah, hopefully you start to see things shift more that direction. I remember being younger, hassling like Dolphins fans and guys like that. Like I remember having Skittles and like, I'm just gonna throw Skittles at like the guy a bunch of rows in front of me. Like I'm a dirtbag when I was a kid. Don't raise your kids like that. We're all fans. No reason to hassle anyone else. Bargified. I was at that awful Jets game in Seattle when they didn't even score a touchdown. I've been at a few of those games here. I'm sorry you were all the way out there. Colorado is great if you're rich, or if you have a buddy that works at a ski resort. That was kind of nice. Lived in the employee housing for a little bit and got the Vail employee pass, or like the discounted pass, which is still like, I don't know if it was half a day or a full day, but it was like $75. And that was half price. Lift tickets are crazy expensive out there. Bomber. We're going 12-5. Remember, I said it here first. Bomber, look, your lips to God's ears, right? We'll see. Ed's in the northeast of Florida is what he's saying. I wouldn't mind going to a Dolphins-Jets game. Miami is such a nice place to visit. Yeah, there's a lot of Jet fans that go to the Miami games too, because there's so many transplants from the Northeast to Florida. I would imagine the same is true with like Tampa when the Jets play Tampa. Jacksonville Stadium's pretty cool. Yeah, it is. They got that fish tank in there, or that pool. I think aren't they getting a new stadium too, or they're trying to get a new stadium? I was saying people are cool in other stadiums. Yeah. I was at the game when Tebow scored the game-winning touchdown. Awful experience. Oh, man. That sucks. I remember watching that game live. It's just like I'm sitting at a bar in college, and we're like, oh, okay, we got this. And then he just fucking scampers for like, what was it, 30 yards? 25 yards, whatever it was. Oh, it sucked. New stadium in London. Yeah, Jacksonville's going to be shipping over that way sometime soon, I would think. They basically have a standing home game in London every single year. Is Justin Fields the franchise quarterback? I don't know anymore. Look, I don't think we have to make that decision right now. This can be a decision that gets made at the end of the season. And even then, I don't know if there's anything that Fields could show me that would prevent me from drafting a quarterback. Like, I still think I'm probably going the route of, like, cover my bases, force him to put his back against the wall, and I'd rather burn a first-round pick because we found our franchise quarterback in Fields and then be able to trade that first-round pick of being a quarterback than put all our faith in Fields in a good quarterback class and then not take one because we drafted a defensive tackle or something silly. So I'm team quarterback for next year, regardless of how Fields plays. Jim Leonard missed the tackle, and that game was over. Yeah, man, I loved me some Jim Leonard. I don't remember that. I don't remember him missing the tackle, but I remember the run. 20 yards. Yeah, I knew it was right around that distance. This is the year we get respected. We'll win more games. Our teams can't beat 12-5. Dude, if we get 12-5, I don't know what I'll do. I'd be pumped. Eli. I was also there when Brees tore his ACL after tearing it up at the Broncos for like 2 quarters. Oh, man, that sucks. That really blows. I was at the Testaverde Achilles game, and I was at the Aaron Rodgers Achilles game. And before you guys say, oh, it's all your fault, we had season tickets for a long time. So I was at basically every game growing up. It was Eric Smith, not Jim Leonard. I was going to say Eric Smith was a missed tackle machine. Leonard was pretty sure tackle. How can you say Gibson got his chance when he had the worst offensive coordinator over the last 2 years? Maybe under a real one, he might be better and used. My issue with Gibson isn't so much his offensive side of the ball as much as it was his special teams. Like, yeah, he had that great touchdown, but like he would bobble punts and drop kicks all the time. All the time. Even in training camp, it was an issue. Like, I sat there watching, like, I don't like this. This doesn't make me feel good. So I don't know. I'm off the Gibson train. If we stay on top of our division, then we will be a deadly young force. Yeah, I am just not of the same mindset. I think the Jets are. Jets might win one division game this year. Like, I think there's a shot you split with the Patriots or the Dolphins. But like, it wouldn't shock me if we got swept by all 3 of our division rivals this year. I'm like so confused on what this team is actually going to look like. How much of this team is the defense from like the first 4 games of the season, and how much of this team is like the defense from the back half of the schedule? The defense is going to dictate a lot. I do think the offense is, like, obviously we're going to take a step back statistically, but I think from an eyeball test, it might be a better team. Like, there was a lot of smoke and mirrors with Rodgers where he was just eating up a bunch of like garbage time stats and stat padding. The yards per completion were pretty bad. I think was it 7 yards? I don't remember what it was. It was pretty not great. Bringing in Tebow killed any confidence Sanchez had. Yeah, I mean, was that the same year we tried to get Manning, or was that the year after? I think it was the year after. Oh, no, I think it was the same year, right? Like, because we tried to go for Manning. Do I have my timeline right? Was it trying to go for Manning and then not getting him and then giving Sanchez the extension and then following that up with a trade for Tebow? Was that all in one offseason? Am I misremembering that? Because I would think Tebow was moved off of as soon as Manning came in, and I know we gave Sanchez the contract after the Manning debacle. Yeah, your timeline's right. I think we traded for Tebow because Peyton went to Denver. Okay. And then we just happened to give Sanchez the extension like right after that Manning thing fell through. Because we were flirting with Peyton. We might beat Buffalo because they rest their starters at the end of the year. That's okay. That was my prediction on the Talking Jet show, that we do beat Buffalo. I forgot I said that earlier. Browns versus Jets. a stink rivalry lately. Yeah, it's been a yearly one so far. Our defense will be top 5 this year. I promise you that. Hope so. There's no way you play for Coach Glenn and don't have that dog in you. He's not going for what? He's not going for that. We're going to be a top 5 defense. I mean, look, I thought his defense looked like crap the last 2 games he played in Detroit. One versus Minnesota, and who did they get bounced from? Or was it Minnesota that bounced them? I guess it was Minnesota. Or no, it was Minnesota the end of the season, and then someone in the first or in the second round because they had the bye. I didn't think they looked good. So hopefully we get a little better over here. That Tebow run was 40 yards, not specific on who missed 40 yards. Wow, okay, we went from 20 yards to 40 yards. Do you think we're adding anyone meaningful at wide receiver, hoping Smith or Corley can develop? Yeah, look, I'm hoping Smith and Corley are the 2 guys that get more focal focus. I don't want to add anyone else. I'm done adding players at this point. We got some dogs on the team, no doubt, but our quarterback needs to have a career year for us to compete for anything. Well, a career year for him isn't necessarily like a crazy thing to necessarily have happen. If you're of the mindset that you think he was not surrounded by a good offensive line or a good play caller, so who knows? I think it's possible he has a career year. My envisioning for him: 3,000 yards passing, 800 yards rushing. Just wreck time of possession. That's what I want to see. Hopefully Fields can lead this team to the playoffs, but I have my doubts. I got my doubts. I'm hoping that's not where things go, but we shall see. Boys and girls, I'm going to call that a night. Before I head off, I'm just going to say thank you to another sponsor. You guys know them. They've been hanging around a little bit. It's our sponsor over at Mando. And boys and girls, I'll talk to you. I don't know. Maybe I'll hop on live. Can I do it tomorrow? What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. No, today's Thursday because it's after midnight. Maybe I'll jump on tomorrow. Talk a little ball with you guys. Talk to you later, boys and girls. Some of my takes may stink doesn't mean you guys have to stink. And that's where the sponsor of today's video comes in. Mando reached out and said, Ryan, your team has stunk for a very long time. So we know that you understand what stinking is. And I said, yeah, absolutely. They're like, so bad, in fact, that we think we can smell you through the camera. And I was like, man, that's very aggressive. Thank you. But what do I got to do? They're like, hey, we're going to send you out some product. We want you to test it out. We want you to be honest with your audience. And then if you like it, offer up a promo code. I was like, all right, cool. So they sent me out the starter pack. I got the Mount Fuji deodorant. Really enjoy that. Put that on every day. In the summer, I've got what is known as a chafing problem, like 2 chestnuts over a roasting fire type problem. This stuff can be put on anything. Your feet, your butt crack, your grundle, your armpits, your hands, boobies, rolls, under boobies, anywhere. This stuff is totally safe. And throwing this on the chafing areas, very, very appreciated. It comes with 2 free gifts as well. I chose the bourbon leather body wash. Becca has really liked that, but I think my favorite thing in the pack is honestly the deodorant wipes. I throw this into my to-go bag and I can just freshen up no matter where I am throughout my day. And maybe I was just yelling at a camera underneath some hot lights and I just need to look a little bit nicer, smell a little bit nicer when I walk out of the cockpit here. So guys, if you want to get in on this, I've really enjoyed it. Shopmando.com, promo code JetsTalk. That's shopmando.com, promo code JetsTalk is going to get you $5 off. That's a 40% off savings on their starter pack. Thank you so much for sponsoring the channel.